Please, someone, tell me with a straight face that Jimmy Dore isn't an anti-vaxxer. Please. Because there is no way you can argue this with someone like Alex Berenson. You just can't.
When the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part.
Take a guess who's the latest anti-vax crackpot that Jimmy Dore is looking to rehabilitate. You guessed it, Alex Berenson. Now, if you haven't heard of Alex Berenson, prepare for quite a ride, because he is, to quote a headline from The Atlantic, not my favorite site in the world, I must admit, but it was titled "The Pandemic's Wrongest Man." In a crowded field of wrongness, one person stands out, Alex Berenson. So let's recap who this guy is before we watch the Jimmy Dore video, because this is pretty amusing. So that's the Atlantic piece, and here's in a nutshell all the crazy stuff that he has been promoting. So he has blamed the vaccines for causing spikes in severe illness by pointing to data that actually demonstrate their safety and effectiveness. He has blamed the vaccines for suppressing our immune systems by misrepresenting normal immune system behavior. He has suggested that countries such as Israel have suffered from their early vaccine rollout, even though their deaths and hospitalizations among vaccinated groups in Israel have plummeted. He has implied that for most non-seniors, the side effects of the vaccines are worse than having COVID-19 itself, even though, according to the CDC, the pandemic has killed tens of thousands of people under 50, and the vaccines have not conclusively killed anyone. So, what else? He has a ton of mentions on PolitiFact and other fact-check organizations. CDC officials admit more hospitalizations of young people from vaccine than from the actual COVID virus. Who spread this? Where does the claim come from? The Gateway Pundit cites a blog post by, you guessed it, Alex Berenson, a former New York Times reporter who has questioned the safety of COVID-19 vaccines and steps to prevent spread of the virus. Berenson claimed that CDC data and estimates show that for every 100,000 vaccines given to young people, 200 will be hospitalized. This is just nuts. What else? Coronavirus vaccinations seem to be causing 50 times the adverse events of flu vaccinations after just the first of 2 shots. Again, who spreads this? The journalist Alex Berenson. Berenson wrote that through December 22nd, with fewer than 1 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine given, CDC had received reports of 307 emergency room visits. More fact-checking. What else? Here is... he told Fox viewers the mRNA COVID vaccines need to be withdrawn from the market. No one should get them. No one should get boosted. No one should get double boosted. They are a dangerous and ineffective product at this point. Let's hear his own words.
We're at a very dangerous moment, Tucker, and I'm. We're at a very dangerous moment, Tucker, and I'm not exaggerating. I think this is probably the most important appearance I've had with you in the last 2 years. It is completely clear now that.
So he's been a regular at Fox News. That's the worst part. This is from 2022. So this is actually, he's still on this train in early 2022. This is just from like 2 weeks ago.
The vaccines don't really work at all against Omicron. In these highly vaccinated and highly boosted countries, rates of infection are incredibly high, and rates of serious disease and death are also rising. The Israelis are predicting that they're going to have more serious cases than they ever had at the peak last year. And the idea that we would solve this with another booster is just off the charts insane. I have not said this to you before because I'm pretty careful, and I'm pretty careful.
By the way, I love Tucker Carlson's look. He always has that look of like, what is he saying? He acts like he's very like deep into the ideas of of whoever his guest is. But there's a reason. Remember, Tucker Carlson is probably like triple or quadruple vaccinated by now. Rest assured. Like all these Fox News dipshits they don't care if other people die because they can promote their anti-vax grifting. But they are all probably very, very, very heavily vaccinated by now with boosters and everything. I know that there's a lot of right-wing pundits who have been consistent with their beliefs and have not gotten vaccinated. That is why probably being a right-wing radio host in 2021 was probably the most dangerous profession in the US, just because of how many of them died during the Delta wave. They were just dropping like flies. Every week you would hear some conservative radio pundit dying. But, the Fox News commentators are a bit smarter. So they know the risk to themselves and they address that risk, but they don't care about other people facing that risk.
With the data, but these vaccines, these mRNA vaccines, the mRNA COVID vaccines need to be withdrawn from the market now. No one should get them. No one should get boosted. No one should get double boosted. They are a dangerous and ineffective product at this point against Omicron. The spike that they make your body make that you then produce antibodies to is not the Omicron spike. And earlier today, Tony Fauci said we're not going to give people monoclonal antibody products, because the first generation products, because they don't work against the Omicron spike. The same logic applies to these mRNA vaccines, and giving people boosters, even if in the very short term it knocks down infection rates, there's a boomerang effect, and that's what they're seeing in all these countries. We are at a dangerous moment, and these products need to be withdrawn.
When you say they're ineffective, and that's demonstrable to anybody who lives in this country, everyone you know who's had it, has had COVID.
God, this is so painful to watch. Don't they understand that the whole point of the vaccine is so you don't die from it? It's never you don't get it. But they still, you just can't argue with these people anymore. You just can't. It's a rather smash your head on a wall. What else? Oh, he's also been on the Joe Rogan show. Of course he has, because Joe Rogan loves all these alternative voices, despite the fact that they have no serious expertise on the matter. Yeah. During the episode, Mr. Berenson directed Mr. Rogan to the public health vaccine surveillance data, yada, 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 showing case rates among vaccinated for different ages. What's telling you is that people who are vaccinated with 2 doses are more likely to be infected than people who are not vaccinated. Again, where's the data on the deaths? Where's the data on the serious illnesses? He's not showing that. Because then it would demonstrate very conclusively that vaccines in fact work, and they work really, really damn well. Let's watch the video, because this is, now that you know what kind of a colossal imbecile this Alex Berenson figure is, watch how Jimmy Dore describes him.
I'm here with American comedian Kurt Metzger. Kurt Metzger most recently was crossing state lines and telling jokes in Kenosha, Wisconsin. There weren't any reports of violence. But
Rittenhouse joke.
There's a lot of issues with me.
Get back on his mic. He seems a little softer for suddenly.
Oh, I tried to turn it down because
No,
of
no,
the
don't.
I don't want to.
Okay, ready? Here we go. Journalist Alex Berenson sues Twitter after being banned for saying COVID vaccines don't stop transmission.
He was banned for way, way worse things than that. Way, way worse things than that.
I saw that when this happened. I remember when this happened. In August, Twitter permanently banned journalist Alex Berenson for questioning the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccines. He has responded by filing a lawsuit claiming the platform violated, among other things, California law. Now, YouTube has all their own rules about how much truth you're allowed to talk about COVID. And they say you have to add all kinds of context. So I got in trouble for saying the same thing from YouTube. They said I had to provide context. I said that the vaccines don't stop transmission. They don't. They said I had to say that they helped reduce it.
I just got done watching a Joe Rogan clip with no context. That's all over all these platforms. They took the context out of the Joe Rogan.
That's right. They took the context
Totally
out.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they also said you can't say that the vaccines don't stop you from getting it, even though that's what they're saying. I have to say that the vaccines do slow. They do
Slow the spread.
no, that they do reduce your
They protect
chances.
you,
They
yeah.
reduce your chances of contracting it. Now, Fauci has recently said that no matter if you're vaccinated or not everybody that you know is likely to get COVID. So again, I don't know if the YouTube is now changing their guidelines or what. I don't know because Fauci is. But so that's why this is so. It seems like what that guy said was correct.
Literally, I just showed you all the stuff that he's been saying, and that he said it. He's also been saying it on Twitter. And trust me, this is the least controversial of the claims. No, I doubt that that he got banned just for saying that they are ineffective or less effective at transmission, which is factually true, but nothing related to like, you know, more people getting sick from the vaccines. The fact that again he's making no claim whatsoever over the entire purpose of the vaccines, which is to save people's lives, which they do work.
But that's not really why he's suing them. Watch till you find out what, because he's talking about the law. Watch the law that he says. Since the beginning of the pandemic, Berenson has earned a name for himself for criticizing measures and the vaccines. The former New York Times reporter was permanently banned from Twitter after a post about the fact that vaccinated people can get and transmit the virus. Again, YouTube guidelines state that even if you're fully vaccinated, you can transmit and get the virus, but it does reduce it. That's what YouTube's guidelines are, and that's what I'm making you aware of. In the complaint, his lawyers wrote, Mr. Berenson's claim that the COVID-19 vaccines do not stop infection or transmission of COVID-19 was true at that time and is true now. Now, that's what I was saying on the show, too. That is true, but they said I had to provide more context. Okay. Which I just provided previous. It is undisputed that vaccinated persons can contract and spread COVID-19, the lawsuit adds. That is technically true. But the suit's main argument, and here's the big thing, right? So the science isn't the part. That's the main thing. Here's the main thing. The suit's main argument is not about the accuracy of the tweet. In the 70-page lawsuit, they argue that Twitter should not ban or censor such statements because it fits the definition of a common carrier and says that the law of the state of California requires common carriers to serve everyone. So you don't get to pick and choose who you're, like the phone company can't pick and choose who they let use the phone line.
Does he still have the tag of his shirt on it over here? No one noticed.
Twitter's role in public debate in the 21st century resembles that of the telegraph in the 19th century, the complaint argues. Twitter banned Berenson days after President Joe Biden asked social media companies to crack down on vaccine misinformation as a goodwill gesture.
Good tidings to all.
Yeah. The suit contends that Berenson has a uniquely viable claim that Twitter acted on behalf of the federal government in censoring and barring him from access to its platform. I really hope this is important.
There is no way that this is like the most frivolous lawsuit that you will ever see. Unbelievable. But Jimmy Dore is convinced that it has substance behind it.
Lawsuit. I would like to get this guy on, and maybe his lawyer. We should try to that. Malcolm, let's see if we could get our friend from the New York Times if he's willing to slum it. Well, now that he's been the
so now he wants Alex Berenson on his show. The biggest anti-vax crackpot that exists in the English-speaking world. That came from like even a reputable organization like the New York Times. That's probably the worst bit of this. And he wants him on the show. Please, someone tell me with a straight face that Jimmy Dore isn't an anti-vaxxer. Please. Because there is no way you can argue this with someone like Alex Berenson. You just can't. With Alex Berenson, the difference between him and every other anti-vax crackpot that Jimmy Dore has invited on his show is that Alex Berenson is not even pretending to be pro-vax or at least kind of just the vaccine hesitant. He is fully anti-vax, fully. He has said that they are dangerous and that people shouldn't take them. And that's the people that Jimmy Dore wants on his show. There is no element of plausible deniability of anything that Alex Berenson says. He is fully anti-vax. Fully anti-vax. And this is the kind of person that Jimmy Dore wants on his show. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Victim of censorship and deplatforming. I bet he feels a kinship to us, maybe a little bit. So maybe we'll be able to.
A kinship? When has Jimmy Dore been deplatformed? He's still doing his stupid videos every day. He still has his channel. By the guidelines of YouTube's COVID information policy, he should have been banned ages ago. I had one video taken down and received a warning that was thankfully later reverted, only because I got lucky and I could speak with someone from YouTube, like an actual human. But I had a video that was debunking anti-vax talking points, and I had that taken down. He's entirely open about his vaccine hesitancy and his promotion of conspiracy theories, always with a bit of plausible deniability, of course. But with Alex, I look forward to if Alex Berenson goes on his show, because Alex Berenson is not going to hide it. And I'm really curious how Jimmy Dore is going to respond to this.
Get this guy out. I would like to talk to him and his lawyer. Let's write that down. And let's keep tabs on this. I want to keep tabs on the John Stossel lawsuit, where Facebook admitted their fact checks aren't real fact checks. Hey, Facebook just fact checked the British Journal of Medicine, and they said they're lying.
Like,
yes, I'm not kidding. They did a Facebook fact check. It's that Lead Stories. Remember the guy who was hitting on me? Remember that guy? That guy was trying to get in my pants as he was trying to fact check me from Lead Stories.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, this guy was. They had fact checked me, and I wanted to get the guy, the journalist who fact checked me on my show, and they said I had to talk to his editor. So I'm talking to his editor, and the editor was hitting on me. He's like, "You're very handsome. You have all of this and that, with your blue eyes." And I'm like, "What in the f is going on with you?" I swear to God, that happened. Yeah.
Totally believable
but anyway,
story.
they're trying to fact check the British Journal of Medicine. That same guy. Hilarious. Anyway, so fact checkers they're becoming a punchline. Thank God, finally, that term fact checker is going to become a punchline. Don't you think, Kurt?
I don't know, man. I think there's a whole bunch.
His
right
mic
now,
sounds low. Is his mic low?
Wait, is it too low now? All right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he doesn't need to adjust during the show.
Yeah, don't adjust.
I put it back. I think all the people that this is all for the benefit of people that didn't know what was going on, that are shocked as they learn it. Like a whole bunch of people that know about how this works think it's great. It works that way. They have nothing in their head except blind. I want my enemy in my head destroyed, who actually is probably me, but I need them ruined at all costs, no matter principle, whatever. Take my rights. As long as you can't talk, I'll give up my own rights. I've heard somebody literally say that, by the way.
You're right to be on
my,
Twitter.
My favorite is the oldest boy. I hate that Joe Rogan. Well, why don't you stop listening to him? I don't ever listen to him. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Okay. And the less people listen to Joe Rogan, the more they hate him. Isn't that funny?
Everyone who hates Joe Rogan is because they've listened to Joe Rogan. I can absolutely guarantee you that. Anyway, so will Alex Berenson be on the Jimmy Dore show soon? I hope so. That will be incredibly hilarious to watch. I look forward to making a reaction / debunking / ridiculing video of this, but he's walking a very fine line here, because like I said, the difference between Alex Berenson and every other anti-vax crackpot that Jimmy Dore invites is that all the other ones at least wrap their anti-vaccine, pro-horse dewormer, anti-mandate or whatever bullshit with some element of plausible deniability. Alex Berenson does not. He is going to say on the Jimmy Dore show, like openly, that people should not take vaccines, they shouldn't take boosters, whatever. And I would love to see Jimmy Dore's reaction to it. Really, really would. On that note, if you like this video, please like, please share. Most importantly, please subscribe. I will see you next time.